And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 347, and I'm joined once again by Ben Castle. What's going on, brother? How's everything? Good evening.
Everything's going good, man. The last time we were on here, I'm pretty sure I was getting you to embrace the sins, right? If I'm
Just,
correct.
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, a
At
lot
least
has
the last
changed.
time, at least the last time we were able to have a one-on-one sit down. Because last time I had the full group, you weren't too happy with me. I guess I might
Yeah,
have
no,
been
you
would have
you
been
you you grew
yeah.
on me.
I'm glad. I'm glad again. I was happy to see you make your official return at Mount Olympus a few months
Thank you,
back. So
thank
it's
you,
good
thank you.
to finally sit down with you here. As we have a lot to discuss, man. We have a lot to discuss at this Saturday. You will be a part of TCW's 5 year anniversary monsoon with a just
Look, right there. Look at the picture right there. You see me dead in the center, right? Look who's behind me. Goes to show you who the true leader was, but we'll get more into that later.
We definitely will. We definitely will. Here we go. We got Nettie in the chat there saying welcome back. Look at that. Look at that. Again, the warm
Thank you.
welcome here for Ben Castle. But Ben, I gotta ask you, now that you are back, now that we're in that spirit, it's a new year. How are you feeling, man? How's everything? And how's that body getting ready to finally be
Uh,
back with the Titans?
I'm feeling great. Feeling great. I'm a little tired because I've been working hard to get back into ring shape and do what I love doing, what I was born to do. But man, I feel fantastic. Like I cannot wait till Saturday to get into that ring with these two morons. Anyways, but yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Words can't describe how I'm feeling.
Got you. No, again, I get it. And we're definitely, like I said, we're going to touch on that a bit. But before we even get into Saturday's match, I have to talk about just the reaction at Mount Olympus. How did that feel for you?
Oh
Just
my
making that entrance. Again, I even said it on commentary. It was teased, but I didn't see you that day before you came out. So I'm like
God. Right.
expecting, is he here? Is he not here? Was this just one of those? It might happen. But then we hear your music, you make your entrance in front of a packed Titan Nation at Mount Olympus. What was that reaction like for you, and how did it feel to finally be back in the Titan ring?
Honestly, I really didn't think the crowd was gonna like me too much. I'd done some terrible things, but yeah, man, I walked out there to my music. It all felt like it never ended. You know what I mean? It just all came back to me. I felt the adrenaline. I felt the rush. I had the people screaming, "Welcome back!" I got to scrap with guys like Wrecking Ball. It was a great moment until Frankie Picard entered, of course. Yeah, but other than that, man, I just I'm so glad to be back with Titan. I'm so glad to be back home. There's so many things that I still have to do. So yeah, I'm grateful to be back.
Gotcha. There you go. And look at that. We got Nettie saying he's in the center because he welcomes everyone to his world. There you go. There you go.
Got it right.
Nice welcoming. There we go. We got Paul Warren saying the world is his. There you go. We gotta love to see that. Um,
Appreciate the love.
but we talk about that now. Once you're in the Rumble, earlier in the night, before you can even make your return, we get that moment of Frankie Picard truly, unfortunately, I guess, just putting that last bullet into it, ending what you and he created so long ago in the Deadly Sins by turning his back on blocks. And then all three of you are in the ring. All three of you are in the ring at Mount Olympus. Just your thoughts and just that whole situation, how it's been a domino effect. It feels like the last few Titan events of just member by member going. And it seems Frankie feels like it was everyone else's fault, but his own at this
Yeah,
point.
I know. I watched last night, and it seems like Frankie got the story a little bit twisted. I don't know if he was sipping on something, but I called this. Called this, man. I called this a year ago before I left. I told everybody you got to watch out for him. Here's the story. Frankie told you the story about how I started, right? He was my trainer, correct? Okay, true. The part about him taking me under his wing, I never asked for his help. I went to him for training purposes. Yes, I was with Preacher, but I wanted more. I wanted experience. I seen this guy in GCW doing his thing, just lighting it up, going crazy, fighting. This was the guy that I looked up to. Once I got in Titan, once I stepped foot, my first match was the Mount Olympus Rumble. I
Yep.
was entry number one. Once I stepped foot there, I was destined to make sure that everybody was going to remember my name. I was going to grow faster than anybody else. And that's why I called it my world. Because now that I'm here, things are going to go my way. Now, as far as Frankie didn't have much luck with that. Frankie wasn't really in it like he once was. I noticed that. So what do? I go to help the man. Bring out that old Frankie Picard. That's what everybody wants to see. Before you get pushed into the shadows and you go start working in bingo halls, do something. Bring that side out of you because everybody is so desperate to see it. And he did. And I am responsible for that. As far as blocks is a different situation. I saw him and I seen he had a lot of potential. Our first match, we had a couple of matches. Our first match, we killed each other. And, seeing this guy and him actually, standing head to head with me and going toe to toe, like I seen something in him, but nobody else did. So what did I do? I recruited him into my world and he rose. This guy flew to the top faster than he ever would have because he was lost. He was lost. I gave him purpose in Titan. So the downfall of it all is starting to realize that Frankie was in it for himself the whole time. Talking about how everybody was in my ear and telling me that I'm going to get championship opportunities. Isn't that what you want in professional wrestling? You don't just walk into this company or into this field and expect to dance around with everybody and shake hands and kiss babies and love the world. No, you got to go in there. You got to grind. It's you against the world in every sense of the word. So yeah, I had some people telling me that I can move on. I can do better than this. I can become a champion. What do you think I'm going to do? Say no to that? Would Frankie have said no to that? Because I was gone, but I was still watching. Frankie made it all about himself. And Blocks was too stupid to see it until it hit him right in the face.
Again, I can't disagree with you because we've seen it time and time again. When I had both of them on, and I'm kind of asking questions just to see their takes, and it seems as Blocks just everything there would be like, you know what? Yeah, I see that, but it's gonna be okay, and it's gonna be okay. And then we get to Mount Olympus, and now we're here. We're here where there is, I feel like, deadly sins no more. We're at
Oh
a
no.
crossroads here of three men that, again, you three were as close as brothers at one point, a union that was taking over Titan Championship Wrestling. Wherever you looked, it felt as if the deadly sins were just destroying anyone in their path. But before
Yeah.
we continue here, we do have one of the boss mans in the chat, Charlie, in the building. What's going on, Charlie?
Charlie!
Well, we got Wes, Kyle, and Rocco saying hi. What's going on? Much love always. We got Paul saying Frankie's a punk. Whip Frankie's ass on Saturday. There we
Oh, you
go.
know it.
Well
You
warned.
know it.
But again,
Expect
we
some.
go into that, and now again, it's official. It will be happening at the 5-year anniversary event. It will be the Deadly Sins Collide, a triple threat matchup between Frankie Picard, Ben Castle, and Blocks.
Look at that
Um,
beautiful son of a bitch in the middle. Oh
again,
man.
you're right in the center, just like on
Right
the
in the
main
center. Look at
poster,
that. Right in the center,
right in
man.
the
I'm the
center,
whole
right there.
freaking show. Let's go.
So, but we talk about that, especially just for you, what it means to be a part of, again, this monumental event. It is 5 years celebration here of Titan Championship Wrestling and a step in the ring here of, again, two guys that you know very well. What does that mean for you, man?
Well, I mean, ironically, I'm undefeated at this event. And my My two wins, I think it was two. The first one was against Frankie, who I put to sleep. And the second one was a triple threat match, which actually where the Deadly Sins all started. It was a triple threat match between myself, Abraham Khan, love you brother if you're watching, and Blocks. And Frankie was the referee. And that's truly where the Deadly Sins started. I believe this was 2023, if I'm correct. And from there, we caused havoc, we caused chaos. Like I said, what I was going to do from when I first walked into the building. Frankie calls me a wild card, like it's a bad thing. Like like it's a bad thing. Listen, I grew up, in not such a good area. I've been in the streets. I've seen a lot of things. So when I get to live my dream, the only thing that I've ever loved in my life more than my kids, then there's just no like I need this, Ray. This is my life, and I'm going to prove to the world on Saturday when it's no longer embracing my sins, but I'm going to bury my sins once and for all.
Got you. No, understood. Um, this was something again in the episode you saw last night with Frankie. We kept touching on, and I want to ask you about the statement you kept making, which is reclaiming your world on Saturday, reclaiming that world. And just for the folks watching at home, and again, that are those that are going to be there this Saturday at Monsoon, what does that exactly look like? What is this world of yours that you look to reclaim? As I can imagine, there's a whole different vision now as you
Yeah.
walk into a Titan ring in 2025.
Yeah. See, my world before I left was very different than what I expect going, further in the future. Before I left, it was pretty much all about me. I was going to do whatever it takes to get to the top, and that was it. I wasn't going to listen to upper management. If I didn't agree with something, I said it. I made it point and clear.
Yep.
Now it's still pretty much like that, but now I can see that there's just some people you need to put it this way. Years ago, I helped Frankie Picard in blocks.
Yep.
So really, I was looking out for somebody else. I was helping them out to bring Frankie from out from the shadows and give a platform to blocks. This time around, I'm not going to let anybody get in my way. I am not going to let anybody try to stop me from retaking my place in professional wrestling and in Titan because I am going to go for championship gold. Nobody's going to be in my ear to tell me different. Nobody's going to stop me from living out my dream. And it starts Saturday when, like I said, I put my sins to rest.
Got you. Again, that is going to be something that I can imagine everyone that is making their way this Saturday to the Berkeley Little League are looking to see. Once again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets now because it is truly going to be a stacked event. And again, it's a celebration, like we've been saying. It is 5 years of TCW, and it is going to be a way to celebrate with a night like Monsoon, which, Ben, for you, just what does that mean now? Again, especially 5 years of Titan Championship Wrestling and to make your return at one of the biggest events in Mount Olympus to now be a part of Monsoon. Just how does that feel to you going into Saturday outside of just the former brotherly battle here?
Oh man, there's so many emotions. Like when I first started, I never saw myself, being a part of this. When I left, I didn't know if I was going to come back, because I was so sick and tired of all the bullshit and whatnot. But to be a part of this 5 years of Titan, I mean, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. To me, this is everything. This means everything. And the fact that it's the match that I'm having with the guys who I'm having it with makes it that much more emotional for me.
Got you. Got
Yeah.
you. And again, I have to ask this because I can imagine, especially for the Titan Nation and everyone watching, especially other members of the roster, I have to ask for that. What was it that truly made you want to come back? Because I get it, the frustrations, what made you decide to step away. what was for you that made it clear that this wasn't the end yet? There's something that still needs to be done. There's more for Ben Castle. There's a world out there where Ben Castle still needs to be in a Titan Championship Wrestling ring.
Yeah. So I left for a lot of reasons. The main reason was Frankie, because I saw right through him. I didn't like the way the whole Deadly Sins thing was going on, and I something that I started and I put so much passion and effort into. He kind of just somehow finagled his way into taking over.
Gotcha.
So pretty much, he was in people's ears and people were in his ear as well, whether he likes to admit it or not. Uh, but I left to become wiser, become wiser, definitely become wiser. I needed some time to really sit back and look at my life and look what I want in life. Because yeah, I was a hothead. Hell, I'm still a hothead. You're gonna see it on Saturday. I'm an angry man. Boo hoo. Get over it, Frankie. I mean, this is professional wrestling for crying out loud. But I always knew, like, this is what I love, man. Like, how can I walk away from, like, you hear the stories about all these guys that retire and then they come back, and like, it was never a retirement for me. It was walking away, taking a
Gotcha.
break.
Understood.
So I knew I was ready, contacted a few people. Mount Olympus came, and here we are.
Here we definitely are. And again, like you said, it's understandable. Again, you see that wild card side of you. And again, it's one of those where, at least for right now, I'm glad it's paid off to have this conversation.
Yeah,
But it definitely might not be the best thing for Frankie Picard and Blocks this Saturday. So again,
no, not
guys,
at all.
make your way to the Berkeley Little League. Come celebrate with us the 5-year anniversary event, Monsoon. And again, see truly that wild card side of Ben Castle and see, will that world be reclaimed? Because I can imagine Frankie and Blocks are definitely not trying to allow that, even though we haven't
No,
heard
they
much.
don't. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. And I'm sorry to cut you off. And I know what you were about to say, that we
Yeah,
haven't heard from Blocks, right?
yeah,
Yeah. What happened to the big mouth? When I was gone, this dude was all over the internet, freaking dancing like Donald Trump, or freaking drinking whiskey out of a bottle and suaveing it up. Nobody has heard from this dude. At least I can give Frankie some credit. He actually has a pair to get on here and talk a bunch of nonsense that honestly I was falling asleep halfway through the interview, and I'm sure you were too because your eyes were low, man. I don't even I don't know, but at least I could bring some life here. Like, we're
yeah.
laughing, we're communicating, we're on top of this. We got freaking 5th-year anniversary Monsoon this Saturday, and he's over here talking about how I'm a hothead, talking about how I got people in my ear. Blocks is I didn't even see Blocks in the chat.
Not at all. I was expecting both of them to be in the chat tonight to get
Like, what's
some
going on?
responses, and I've seen nothing. I offered Blocks a spot on this as well. I've heard no response. As the journalistic side trying to get words for the Titan Nation,
Well,
I've
maybe
heard nothing.
he just might be butthurt that, the only two guys that ever cared about him, were all falling apart on Saturday, and he's gonna finally be on his own to see what the real world is like.
I
So,
guess we shall see. We shall see what happens. Again, it is a situation where I've said it before. When seeing them start to just fall apart, I felt bad. But it's one of those where, again, the writing was on the wall. We saw where this
absolutely.
was going, and unfortunately, Saturday, we will see who walks out on top. We will see what happens at, again, the 5-year anniversary event, Monsoon. Ben, again, I thank you so much for joining us here. I thank you so much for, again, having this conversation, and
Oh,
welcome back,
absolutely,
brother.
man.
Can't wait to see you this Saturday, and to
Yeah, come
everyone
see you,
watching.
and
It's gonna be a
thank
good
you for
time, man.
having me, bro.
Of
I
course,
really appreciate
anytime.
it. And like I said, I'm going to reclaim my world. I'm going to bury my sins, and then next step, I'm going to win a championship in Titan Championship Wrestling. That's a
There you go.
fact.
There you go. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets now for Monsoon by going to that link right there. Also, clicking the link in the description down below. That's going to be Titan championshipwrestling.com. Also, make sure you are following Ben Castle on all of his social media right there. It's going to be Instagram, the Ben Castle Pro, on X right there at Ben Castle's World. And again, be there this Saturday as we'll be at the Berkeley Little League. Ben, thank you so much again. And to everyone watching, we'll see you guys at 7 p.m. with Justin Bon Jovi and Mr. James, and then at 8 p.m. with Michael Fain. It's going to be a long night here, but we're talking all things Titan Championship Wrestling. So till next time, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody.
Thank you, brother.